Welcome to the Dry Creek Baptist Camp Disc Golf Fly-Through. Really looking forward to showing you our disc golf course here at the camp. We actually have two different courses, a little bit longer course, the Pine, and then a shorter course, the Oak. I'll try to point out as many of those things during the fly-through as we can, the differences there. You can see our first tee is right off the front office parking lot here. We also have a box by the first tee if you need to borrow a disc for the round or if you want to trade discs or donate discs to the camp. First tee. 388 feet for the longer hole, and the shorter hole is a 305 foot. Both very easily parred with a nice backhand across the front rec field here. You'll notice the Oak basket there to the left, and then the Pine is coming up through a few more trees here that you have to maneuver for the slightly longer hole. Basket number 2, the second tee pad is a safari tee over to the right of the primary tee pad for the Pine hole, but it's a nice forehand around the pear tree. There is also a path if you want to backhand to the right side of the pear tree and drop it down for a 262 foot par 3. Hole number 3 here, the basket's coming up on the left for the shorter Oak. You'll see it nestled back there. Yep, and then for the longer Pine hole, the hole is over to the right. It's a excellent hole to use a nice forehand on to move it a little bit further down the hill. If you are short, you do have a pretty significant ditch as your backstop, so be careful on those longer putts as you come down the hill here. You don't want to overthrow the basket too far. You can see it's pretty grown up back there. Around that. All right, hole 4 is a fun one. The secondary tee is a safari tee for this one for the shorter. It's just to the left there by that tree. We do have a Mando on this hole. I'll be sure and point out as we get there. The safari tee is 340 feet, and the main Pine basket is 506 feet. It's par 4. The shorter tee is a par 3. And you'll notice we have a raised basket for hole number 4, set up on some skidder tires here. And so it's definitely a difficult putt to finish out this fun hole. The bottom of the basket is about 7 feet off the ground. Hole 5 is a pretty straightforward. The drone shot is actually coming from the shorter Oak tee box. The Pine tee box is just behind that one to the right. Your distances here are 195 and 243. Both are pretty straight shots, par 3. Hole 6, pretty difficult shot. It is a par 3. A lot of trees to work through here, especially about the midway point of the hole here. There's a Mando over there to the right. You'll notice on the tree there's a sign. If you can get out into the open here with your tee shot, then you can chip up to the basket, and the basket is mounted on the side of the heel here, and anything over or under that fence is out of bounds. Hole 7, pretty straightforward shot, but it is uphill all the way to the basket, and so you do have to think through your elevation as you tee off here, and you don't want to throw it too short. 283 foot par 3. Hole 8 is a longer hole, 473 feet, par 4. Get out from underneath these trees. You got some open space to work with. Once you get out into the field, once you get past this oak tree on the left, you'll notice the basket tucked into the back corner of the rec field. Anything past the road is out of bounds, and so you don't want to go too far with that second shot as you approach the basket. Hole 9, a couple of trees to get you started with. Most people do a backhand out over the field and let it fade back to the left towards the basket. You can try to go straight through all those trees. Just a difficult shot. Again, the road is out of bounds, and pretty straightforward. 398 foot par 3 on this one. Hole 10. We get into some woods holes, and so obviously a lot of growth on both sides of the fairway here. The Oak basket is usually tucked into this little open spot on the left, little rabbit there, 203 feet to the oak. Right there. The basket's not actually in place in the video, but that's where the oak basket normally is placed. And then the pine basket is 328 feet. Both are par threes, a little bit more of a tunnel shot down to the far end for the pine basket right there. Hole 11, another woods shot, 198, a shorter for the oak, and then 285 for the pine, both par three. Again, you got a lot of growth on both the left and right sides here, so difficult tee shot, but it's a fun one. That's where the oak basket will be, right there in this clearing on the right. Again, not in place, but it will be right there in the middle of that clearing. And then the pine basket just a little bit further up, right here at the end of that 285-foot tunnel. And hole 12, this is our longest hole on the course, 598-foot par 5. The oak shorter basket is a par 3. It's 400 feet, and I'll point that one out to you. It is this little sandy spot on the right there. Both of them have a Mando. You'll notice the white sign on the tree to the left here as we come up. So once you get around that tree, there's a dog leg up on top of this hill is where you'll find the basket. And from where you're standing right here, it is about 15 feet up to the top of this hill where you see the basket. Hole 13, oak is a pretty straight shot, par 3, 284 feet. You'll notice it. We're going to pass it here on our left. The pine basket is 503 feet, par 4. And it's down here to the right, tucked in behind this oak tree that we're passing on the right. Hole 14 is our first water hole. The oak hole is a 240-foot par 3. That basket is not in place today, but it is normally tucked in right behind these oak trees to the left there. And then the pine hole is right over here, tucked in behind these oak trees on this side, also a par 3. Both holes have water. You can lay up if you go to the left on that oak hole, the shorter hole. You can stay dry over there, but both definitely can go over water as well. Hole 15 is a 318-foot par 3 for the pine. The oak is a 242-foot, also par 3. It's a safari tee into the trees just to the left there. If you're going for the pine hole, probably going to go over the water to get there, tucked in behind these trees here. Hole 16 is a 262-foot par 3, work through this little tunnel of trees. The oak is right there to the right, just to the other side of that tree. It's a 185-foot par 3. But once you get through this little trail here, it pops out in a pretty open follow-up shot to the basket of 16 there. Hole 17, 322-foot par 3. You'll notice we're going to pass the sign for oak here on the left. That's the oak tee. The drone started off on the pine tee, right up against the tree line. Anything inside the sand volleyball court there is out of bounds. But you'll notice the basket is tucked into this group of oak trees over here and guarded by the oaks. Hole 17. Hole 18. Most of the year, the oak will be the only basket that is in place, and that's what we're flying here is the oak. It's 276-foot par 3. You'll notice the basket coming up on the left. It's a pretty straight shot following the tree line here. And it finishes underneath this oak tree here. The pine course goes over the top of the parking lot here, and so it'll only be set up during tournaments. And so the pine basket, which is an island basket, par 4, will be for tournament days only. And you'll notice it goes over the parking lot. So you can lay up in the grass there, and then you're chipping up to the island basket, which will be in that spot in the middle of those oak trees there. I sure hope you've enjoyed the flyover of Dry Creek Baptist Camp's disc golf course. You can find us at 8237 Highway 113, Dry Creek, Louisiana 70637, and I sure hope to see you out on the course someday soon.